Hi, everybody. It is Help Me Be Me. I am Sarah Mae Bates, and it's a kind of a fun episode. It is not the normal style of episode. It's way more focused on journaling specifically for the end of the year and for creating a vision board. And I know that the images of vision boards are really like associated with the movie The Secret, and they have kind of a cheesy, like, I don't know. They have some baggage. I want to open your mind to the idea of a vision board because it is very helpful and very powerful in just allowing you to be loftier and more optimistic in the way you set goals. And whether you believe in the stuff around The Secret or not, it really is a way of writing a to-do list, but in a more emotional and holistic way. So it allows us to really dream about, in a different energy, what we want for our lives and where we want to go in the future. It's a fun thing to do. I personally make vision boards every year because every single year I get all the things for my vision board. I achieve all the things and then I need new things to aim for. Um, and I didn't really think that would be true when I first started making them. I was kind of like um, just trying it out, kind of as a Pam Grout style experiment. I'll put Pam Grout's book in the show notes of this episode as well because that's a fun practice any time of year for me. I love E Squared. It's like one of my favorite books. Love Pam Grout. She's an amazing human being. She was on this show a while back if you haven't listened to that episode. Anyway, all of that said, this is an episode about energy clearing for the new year and making space for what is meant to come forth in your life. And also just a taking stock kind of practice for really tuning into where you are, what's working, what your moments of joy were throughout the year this year, and really opening up to the energy of trust and optimism as we move into the next year. So, this is for anyone who wants to process what's inside and position themselves for the year to come. I have lots and lots of prompts in this episode for really journaling and reflecting. And then I also have prompts that are specific to making a vision board. So if you want a list of the prompts, I'm going to see if they'll fit in the show notes. And if they don't fit in the show notes, I'm going to make a link in case you are driving or walking and you want to reflect on this while you listen and then you want to do them later. So check the show notes for that. So in this episode, there's really just a what, and then I'm going to go into the prompts and the tools. So the what, um, energy. I think a lot about energy nowadays, and I think about it as such an important element in how I move through the world, how I respond to other people, how I affect other people. It's almost like once you start to really think about it, you can almost see it. Like I remember having a conversation recently where I said something that wasn't intended to be mean. It was being honest, but I was saying something about another person, and I could almost see the energy as like reductive. And I was like, "Ooh, that's weird. I don't think I liked that. I don't think I liked that coming out of my body." So I'm very, very conscious of that now. And for the beginning of this episode, I wanted to invite you to really just tune into where your energy's at in your own body and resume a feeling of everything's okay. What would that tiny, tiny tweak look like in your physical body right now? Everything's okay. Everything's okay. In this moment right now, you're fine. I think we get into a mindset of we have something we have to worry about, and unconsciously we start to flex all these tiny muscles. It's like because we're in planning mode or because we have a lot of stuff to do, we have a lot of responsibilities, we get into a kind of like flexed state of stress unconsciously. So let's try and just relax into everything's okay. You're not under threat right now. You can enjoy this moment. You can enjoy today. You can enjoy wherever you are. This could actually be fun, whatever it is. Could be joyful, could be relaxed. I don't know if you know those people in your life who are always kind of cracking jokes and always smiling and have a positive energy about them. Kind of reminds everyone else around them you can be that way too. Truly, this day could be your last day. And you don't have to move through your life as if we're not living for today. Today could be a day to live for. That's great. We just have to remember to look at it that way. And if you're feeling worried or you're feeling overwhelmed, I know I've been feeling really overwhelmed lately. And one thing that helps me a lot in just resetting my energy is this sentence that just recurs again and again. You don't have to do it all alone. You're not doing this all alone. You have lots and lots of people around you to support you who will help you, who will participate in your life and inform it and change it as you move through it. So welcome it in, accept it. I think a lot about the telepathy tapes, and I just love, love, love that show and what it's gifted to the world. A lot of the research I've kind of grown up with, and I've followed Rupert Sheldrake, who's on that show in a couple of episodes. But I've been thinking a lot about one of the more recent episodes, which is about animals and their energy being so kind of pure and clear, in part because they don't have that complicated computer system that is the ego. And the ego, even though it is this really intelligent kind of like machine that helps us weigh things and predict things and try and control things and plan for things and imagine things and all those things, it is not smarter than your instincts. Your instincts are coming from almost like a godlike place. And your instincts will tell you things that you will just know. And they will know things beyond what your ego, your thinking brain can solve for you. And I want I wanted to just bring that top of mind for you because if you can tune into your instincts, if you can really like shut off or calm the brain and come into a state of trust and knowing, your body kind of knows what to do. Your instincts kind of know what to do. They have a wisdom that is beyond all of that computing. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling stressed, if you're going into a kind of controller, kind of black and white, really constricted mode, come back into the instincts, come back into kind of a more present, mindful moment as a solve. It's just we have to step back from that spinning. So these practices are for checking in with where you're at, what's working, what needs tweaking. And I think for me, the ideal way to move through life and the ideal way to think about life is we're almost on like a balance board or a surfboard or a snowboard or whatever board you have ever experienced in your life. And we're constantly balancing in one direction and then the other direction. And then if we're going too far this way, then we balance back the other way. And that is just the way it is. We're constantly course correcting and we're checking in with like, am I still in the right place? Am I in balance? Or do I need to move a little bit in this direction? That's kind of the way it's supposed to be. And I think that that is how we really resume balance and make sure that all of our houses are in order. All of the facets of who we are being rewarded and addressed. Second to that, I think that it's super important to check in with what has truly made us happy in our lives. Because a lot of people set goals based on an image, based on a static, flat still of a thing in the future that looks pretty. I'm going to have these things, I'm going to have this stuff, I'm going to have this person there, and I'm going to have won this title, and it's going to all look like this, and I'm going to finally have won. And in truth, our experience of life is much more varied and visceral and beautiful in like really small ways. Like very small, ordinary moments are probably what make us feel the most fulfilled. And we have to just notice what those are. And that is what this opportunity is. That's what this episode is about, is like really observing those things. And then I think it's also really important to choose to set goals because you are always in motion. You are always heading towards something. And if you're not being conscious about the thing you're heading toward, you're kind of being reactive to external things, and they are deciding your outcomes for you. And I know a lot of people have a resistance to setting goals, and that is partly because of growing up with the idea of not enough, of threat, of scarcity, of I have to work hard to have good things, to be loved, to earn something from somebody else. Like that belief is kind of something that gets imprinted in our bodies at a young age of like, I can't be safe. I can't have good things. I can't have all of the rewards and all of the happiness unless I try so, so hard to earn it from somebody else. So if you are a person who feels awkward or scared or immediately gets triggered by the idea of setting a lofty goal, I want you to observe that right now. Just like check in with that energy in yourself. What in me comes up when I set a goal that feels like really amazing and wonderful and great and perfect, and where I get all of the love and I'm surrounded with all wonderful things? Like, what comes up in your body with that visual? For me, in some goals, I have this energy of, oh, but no, I can't ask for that. I mean, that's a little, no, I shouldn't go that high. I shouldn't. There's this like doubtful feeling of like it doesn't fit, but it doesn't fit me. I shouldn't do that. That's not really true for me. And that is in part a fear of loss. There's this feeling of I don't want to be disappointed. I'm just not going to ask because the stress of disappointment is too scary. So if that resonates with you at all, I wanted to offer this reframe of that energy in particular, because when we are in a fear of loss, it is partly our old baggage of um, really being a sensitive person, really being a very, very squishy, soft, um, big-hearted, vulnerable, sensitive person. And the fear of being hurt is coming from a very young emotional place. The fear of having our dreams crushed or being disappointed is this, it's in part a feeling of, if I'm disappointed, I don't think I can survive it, which is not true. It's not a true thing about you today, but our emotional body tells us, I don't think I can want something and not get it. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt too bad. So check in with that energy, notice the texture of it, notice the age that it's coming from, and remind yourself you're safe now. You can handle things now. You can want wonderful, great things. All of that superstition, all of that like knee-jerk response, the trigger response to wanting something good is a normal, natural part of moving through emotional change. We grow out of it. We just have to look at it in the eye whenever that feeling arises in our body. We have to look at it, see it for what it is. This is an old echo. This is an old echo of fear of loss. And just literally in that moment, teach your body to have trust. Teach your body, go into your muscles and find the areas that are constricted, that are in that fear response, and just literally tune into, what does trust feel like in my body? And like as if you're an actor on a stage performing a person who is full of trust and confidence, literally assume that position and that energy in your body. It's like, I want you to practice it right now. What does it look like? It's maybe relaxation in your belly, in your lower belly muscles. Maybe your shoulders drop a little, your shoulders get a little bit more relaxed, your breath gets a little bit deeper. Like just feel it in your body and tell yourself like, you're okay. You're okay. You're totally fine. It's okay to want great things. Nothing is, you're not welcoming badness. That is an old fear. I'm going to keep myself small. I'm not going to want too much. I don't want to get hurt. I'm just not going to want too much. That's old. Just practice. We got to practice relaxing that constriction and feeling a sense of trust. That's how we teach ourselves to move through the world in a more rational, grounded, mindful place. I know that is a lot of very nuanced kind of alteration, but it is the mind follows the body, follows the mind, follows the body, follows the mind. If you can teach your body to be in a certain emotional state, it will teach your mind to think in new ways and vice versa. If you think certain thoughts, you're going to tell your body to feel certain things. So you can affect change both ways. You can change from the inside out and the outside in. So teaching yourself to calm down in reaction to certain things like that, it will change the way you see reality, the way you move through your life. It'll change the energy that ricochets off the world around you as well. I wanted to talk about the types of goals that I'm going to encourage you to set as you think, as you reflect on what you want to bring into your coming year. It's important to have goals that are values based versus badge based or external object based. And I think that a lot of people set goals around external objects because it's all they can think of. It's kind of like I don't know, I guess the trip to Tahiti or the title or the partner. It's like we think of all these milestones that belong to social media or other people's vision boards, and we just kind of are like, maybe that's a good thing to think about because I don't know what I want. I can't even think past today because I'm so overwhelmed. If you are, if you're in a place where you don't know exactly what it is you want, really tune into values that you have and think about the ways you want to feel because your life will reflect an actual routine and actual experiences that reward all of you. It won't feel hollow. So in the exercises, in these prompts, as we go through them, I'm going to ask you to think about things that have made you feel proud and have made you feel truly fulfilled and great about yourself. Those experiences are are so specific, the ones that make us feel truly deeply rewarded. So it's a very interactive episode. I want you to free associate. I want you to not judge what comes up, just write it down. I work a lot with the unconscious and with what I'll call the little inner me. This, I think of everybody as having two selves. You have this like adult computer brain that's like making shit happen and booking things and putting your calendar together and ordering all the things and being a grown up. And then you have this little tiny being that's this like little warm piece of a soul that is basically your childhood self, your childhood energy that's silent and sitting in this little warm space that is your body, and they're around for the ride. They're just witnessing how you move this body, and they have feelings and they want to be taken care of just like a little kid. They want to be rewarded and brought joy and celebrated and treated so nicely, just like you have a little kid. And that little self responds really well to gestures, to kindness, to ritual, to things that will be demonstrations of care and love and acknowledgement of what brings you joy and what used to bring you joy. So much of the work I'm doing on my own is about returning to origin, returning to this original self when I was kind of unfettered by all of the routines and all of the structures and all of the systems that have kind of that make us all squish us all into this like shape that we're supposed to be in and perform and like act in a certain way. And it really does teach us out of this organic, blissful state of unfettered creativity and unbridled spirit and expression. And so I'm trying to reclaim that. And as I'm moving closer and closer to it, that little self, that little second being is so happy and feels so alive. And it gets stronger and you can hear it more. It speaks in a tiny little whisper, but the voice is very specific. So I want to invite you to start to foster that connection as well with your little self, your inner self. And the goal for all of this work is that you are more tuned to yourself. You feel fully alive, fully rewarded, and just way happier, way more embodied in your life experience. It's so easy to get programmed out of your own life, so that you're doing all of these things in this routine that are based on everybody else's standards. And it's a long, long list of to-do items. But you're like, Do I even like these things? Have I even checked in with these things? Has this rewarded who I am at all? I don't know. A year went by. Did I enjoy it? I have no idea. With all of that, that long, long, long rambling intro, here are the tools and the prompts. So, the first tool I have for you is just a body check-in. This is something I invite you to do throughout your day as much as you can remember to do it and just be embodied for a split second. So I want you to come into your body. Just so you know, research shows very clearly that people who are mindful more are much happier because when you are in a mindful state, you are present and you're in your life experience. If we are in a state of rumination, where you're either in the future projection or you're in a memory, a replaying of an old memory, that is when you are emotionally not here and you're being kind of um, taken out of your body, and therefore you're not making new memories, you're not marking new experiences. So being fully embodied and in the present is where we have the most joy. So with that, take a deep breath. And I just want you to ask, like, tune into that kind of closed eyelid room that is your head and ask, how is my heart today? Just like scan it. Is it feeling calm, spacious, paced? Next, how is my mind today? Are you feeling clear? Are you feeling chaotic? Are you feeling rushed? Can you just observe the thoughts, whatever they are? Next prompt, how is it in my body today? Just do a quick body scan. Do you have any pain anywhere? Is anything too overly flexed, holding too much tension? Can you kind of stretch into that body, relax anywhere that feels like it needs relaxing? Next, I want you to just after that scan, ask yourself, am I holding energy anywhere? Am I feeling fear? Am I feeling tension anywhere in my body? Is there any block anywhere in my body? Observe it. It doesn't even have to make sense. I'm like feeling like my sacrum might have something. I don't know. Just want you to ask that of your body and tune into what comes out. Okay, that was the first practice I have for you. The second practice I have for you is I'm calling resonant images. And this is something that is harder to do on the internet because I don't know about you, but I get immediately like sucked into a totally unrelated task if I start to do something on a computer, if I start to do something on the internet. So I'm going to invite you to grab any book, any magazine, if you have a magazine, but just flip a book with pictures. Flip through the book and stop on an image that has texture or energy for you. And by that, I don't mean like judge it, doesn't have to be, the point is not to have anything specific or literal. It's just an emotional response. So anything at all, like it could be something that just feels like, oh, I like that picture. It could also be something about like the energy and what it represents. Like, oh, I love the energy of the person in this picture. Don't judge it, just find one and look at it. If you have that picture, the reason I'm doing this is like the unconscious, it for us to kind of tap into it and get feedback from it, we need something to respond to. It helps us kind of like as a starting prompt to have base material to react to on an emotional level. So if anything has kind of tension or friction or energy for you, we're going to use it, whatever it is. And so this is okay. Now that you have your image, whatever it is, I want you to write on these prompts. What about this image do you relate to? Like, what does it conjure for you? What does it remind you of? Next prompt. What does this symbolize to you? This energy of this image, what does it symbolize to you? Next prompt. What moment in your origin does this image relate to? And this is the last prompt for this practice. What, if anything, would you like to bring forth in your present day life that is embodied in this image? Okay, that's the first practice. If this image has like resonance for you, I invite you to like, it's a magazine, cut it out, put it on your wall somewhere you can see it. If it's a positive connection, if it's something you want to bring out more of. I have a lot of like images like that for myself that just have, it's like a psychic reminder in some ways to connect to something that is deeper from another time. All right. The next practice is called the clay. So you guys have probably heard me refer to clay quite often as like when you have something that is kind of bugging you and it's in the back of your head, or it's something that's like a fear that's blocking you in certain areas. The best thing to do is really bring that thing forth so that it's not just here kind of guiding you unconsciously, it's out in front of you. You know what it is and you're working on it. It's in progress. As soon as we acknowledge something, it's now no longer something that's guiding us and causing us to avoid things. It's something that we're solving, that other energy is helping us solve. It's active. That is how we move through any issue, is by making it conscious, and it's something we talk about, it's something we work through, we process, we talk about with other people. It becomes something that is on its way into becoming another thing. So for this practice, this is really to pull out your clay. Like, we have unconscious material that is stuck in the back of our mind that's keeping us from clear motion forward. And oftentimes we just don't see it because we avoid it because it feels impossible. It feels scary. We don't want to think about it. It almost just emotionally feels like, an opposite magnet force where we're like, I just don't want to go there. I don't know why. It feels tiring. It feels negative. I just don't want to go there. But in reality, it's something we just haven't processed that just needs to be kind of like given some molding. So for this set of journal prompts, I want you to think about if you have any areas that you're currently blocked or something that is causing you fear or resistance. I had one that I didn't really recognize. I stopped directing a long time ago because I had a really bad experience. And I just didn't want to even look at it. And I just stopped doing it. And I didn't want to go in that area. And I had to really like process why and like think about the damage that was done and like consciously choose to move past it in order to really grow out of that. So, whatever image you got, I want you to refer to it. Okay, so the first journaling practice is, what is a belief or a worry that is blocking you? Just free associate. Allow it to come forth and write it down. Anything that might be blocking you. It doesn't even have to be you. It could be something that is external, that is out of your control, something that is making you feel stuck and stifled and frustrated. It could be a system, it could be a person, a situation. It also could be a conflict of drive where you are called in two different directions and you have to like reconcile, I really want this thing, but I also really want this thing. Okay, the next prompt. What is something that is nagging at your subconscious that you know is imminent and needs attention? Next prompt. What, if anything, do you want to activate today in a sense of change? Okay. The next stage of this reflection process, I'm going to call third person or little me. And I kind of talked to about this already, but we think of ourselves as two people. We have this little inner person that's this like child that's experiencing your life and is at the mercy of your ego and what you do to this body. And we can also be so nice to this little person and reward them So I wanted to ask you to check in on whether or not the life and structure and routine that you have designed around this little person is rewarding to you on a kind of a nervous system basis. I think a lot of people are built for certain ways of living, and a lot of people are not built for certain ways of living. And that is a huge factor that is very important in how you design your life. So we learn that sometimes the hard way because we get sick or we start to get really run down or burnt out or we become depressed and we feel empty because of the way our life is set up. So this is an opportunity to just tune in to how you're conducting this engine that is your body. So the journal prompts for this one, this third person exercise, the first prompt, think of yourself in third person. How do you treat yourself? Like if you were to give yourself a summary description, like a caricature, like mine for myself is I often treat myself like a set PA, like a production assistant, like, all right, I need to move this and I need to do that. And after you're done doing that, like, yo, I want you to go here. Somebody else I know, they treat themselves very much like a monk in a temple. So what would you say is the way you treat yourself currently? All right, the next prompt. Describe what conditions allow you to thrive. And I mean, in a recent experience, like what was a moment in time when you felt very rewarded and balanced and like this is the perfect set of conditions for my being. Next prompt. What, if anything, in your current routine is causing you to be flooded with anxiety or is causing you to have difficulty accessing flow or happiness or productivity? For me, that's a sense of overwhelm that kind of constricts my ability to be in flow and be present. And then the last prompt in this one, what is a recent moment when you felt really embodied? Okay. The next step in this reflection exercise is a future day exercise. I've given this on past podcasts. I love to do this. I want you to envision a day in the future that represents you enjoying the fruits of growth and hard work. And think about a couple of different days, but let yourself be kind of outlandish and random. Like it doesn't have to be so based on all of the things you've done this year. Like just think about like what could be an amazing and wonderful circumstance to be in the future. And now I want you to think about like what you're doing, what you're feeling, what is the most joyful part of that practice. And it should be a well-rounded moment, you know? It's not just like that static still photograph of something perfect. It's like I'm feeling fully alive. I'm feeling very proud of myself. Whatever the dimensionality is for how you feel, that's what I want you to think through. So, prompts for this practice. First prompt, what is this ideal future moment? And what makes it so exciting? And the second prompt, what was a recent, unexpected moment of joy that you experienced? And I added that one just because I think a lot of the time we have very joyful experiences and we don't really recognize that they are truly joyful. And because they're so ordinary, because they were like such a small random moment and we think of them as unimportant, but that is joy. That is the stuff of life. And before I go into the vision board section of this, I just wanted to set up just the sphere that is life, the other half of the coin that is happiness and satisfaction is work, is hard work, is struggle, is fear of moving through new territory. Fear is totally normal. Feeling completely out of our realm is totally normal. It's a normal stage of change. Stress, feeling overwhelmed is also a normal state of change. Feeling like I can't do this, I don't know what I'm doing is totally a normal and expected positive stage to move through because you're on your path to someplace new. So don't think of that as something bad or wrong. It's normal. So, the very last practice I have for you today is a vision board. You can do this on a computer if you really want to. I really like to do it in a tactile way, and I like to do it in a physical way. And oh my gosh, I'm going to do this for the YouTube people. I have my new vision board. I'm going to grab it so I can read it. I'll be right back. Okay, I think some people need inspo for a vision board if you've never done one before, because it's kind of a weird idea, right? I just clip out random pictures. They have like scrapbooking compilation books that you can find if you don't have any magazines. I found a bunch of magazines from the 90s in my garage and I used some of those. But I also just write stuff. I like write a bunch of stuff because and then I like highlight certain things because they are really like feeling based and value based. So first I'll give you the prompts and then I'll share a little bit of mine. So the houses I want you to scrap on your vision board. The first one, your emotional house. How do you want to feel in your future moments? What will those moments look like? The second house, your financial house. I want you to be really open to this area. I think a lot of us feel shitty about setting goals, financial goals, or we feel a fear of loss. Do not feel guilty. Just really relax your body and allow whatever wants to come out, come out. You can arrive in this lifetime. You can achieve greatness in this lifetime. We just have to remember that that's 100% realistic, 100% possible for you. Next, I want you to write on your spiritual house. How would you like to expand? It doesn't have to mean like a churchy thing. It could just mean a growth in your compassion, your capacity, your awareness, your openness to shift in your bigness as a person. How would you like to deepen? Next, your health house. How do you want to feel? And what kind of habits and activities will that bring into your life, into the future? Next, your creative house. What do you want to create in this world? What are you excited? What is your energy activated toward? What do you want more of in your future? And last, your relationship house. Who do you want to connect to in what ways? How do you want to grow in that area? And as you journal or as you collage, just for whatever it's worth, I wanted to remind you all of the string of pearls, Phil Stutz's tool. If you think about change and you think about growth, I think a lot of us get really overwhelmed and we feel like I can't get there. It's just too big. I don't even know what to do. The only thing that matters is an action and another action and another action. And all actions are equal. That doesn't matter the bigness or the smallness, they all amount to change. So just focus on one action and another action, then taking another action and then taking another action. And that is how success is created in the small moments and consistency. Um, and I just wanted, if you took nothing else away from this episode, if you're listening to this and you're maybe not going to do all the practices, the recipe for happiness, I believe, is really mindfulness, being in your body, gratitude, really practicing setting that bar consistently to default to what's working in your life and what's good in your life. And then also altruism. And by that, I mean being connected to others, helping others, feeling of value in this world, being effective in expressing our form of love, and being able to expand and connect to others in the world. That is such a powerful force and amounts to feeling internally beautiful. Like it's an odd thing to say, but I just want you to imagine that in your own energy. Imagine it right now. How does it feel to be a beautiful person? It feels wonderful. Imagine it by going into a moment in your life, maybe a recent moment in your life, where you felt great and you expressed love. You expressed selfless love. And you maybe you just wanted something for someone else, just for their well-being, for their benefit. And if you have a recent memory, go into that embodiment, in that fullness, in that feeling of beauty. That feeling of beauty, we feel of great worth, we feel of value, we feel pride and satisfaction. That is like the core to altruism. And as soon as you have moments of that, you continue to chase it. You continue to curate it and set yourself up for more of it because it is such a great feeling of satisfaction. Um, so all of that said, I'm going to show you my vision board. I have connection to origin, creativity, joy. Honeysuckle is the image I chose because as a kid, me and my sister would bite off the ends of honeysuckle in the garden. The garden represented just unfettered, unscheduled time, freedom, the right to just be with no schedule. Like, what an amazing feeling, what an amazing gift that none of us really get to have anymore. How insane is that? It's pretty insane. We need to have that time for ourselves. I want more of that time for myself. Connection to love. It's a big one on mine. Um, a fire pit. I love burning wood. I love it so much. And swimming with more turtles, swimming with dolphins, perhaps. That's more for my family. I'm a little bit afraid of dolphins. Balance, hiking. Those are all practices. The back is where I get into all the values, though. Shining, growth, confidence, connection, joy, creativity, love, more directing. I love to direct. That's what I do now. I mean, you get the gist of it. All of it is an energy thing. So I invite you to please make a vision board and just see the magic that happens. It's really just teaching yourself. Like if, I don't know if you've ever snowboarded. Whatever you look at, you're running right into it. So you got to look where you want to go. Same goes for life. Look where you want to go and have a vision that's high enough so that you know we're always in motion. Unconsciously, we're always in motion. You don't realize how fast you are changing. You are always changing. Um, so in closing, I wanted to leave you with a simple reframe. If you are feeling really stunted in any area, maybe your brain is in that loop of telling you why this isn't possible, why you're headed to a dead end. The simple reframe I've been using for myself recently, because you get into that anxiety state and you get into that rushing, constricted danger state. We create a fake sense of danger in our heads and just our imaginings of all this priorities and all the stress. A lot of that is just overwhelm. But the reframe is this thing, is the outcome we want actually possible? Can you see that as a realistic possible outcome? And if the answer is yes, then you got to stop the fret. It's not relevant. We already know that it's possible. Of course, it's possible. The path informs the outcome. All you have to do is continue to walk the path. Just like the body is created by the mind, which is created by the body, we can affect change in any point of that cycle, of that loop. So just remind yourself, like, of course it's possible. I just have to start walking down the path. The path will inform the outcome. It'll inform the answer. So I send you my love. I hope you have fun with this and smile.